Hey guys, hope you had a great 4th of July. It's hard to believe that 50 years have went by since the Bicentennial. I was 11 years old and I remember it. Well, I don't really remember it. I started to say I remember it very well. I'd be lying. I don't remember it. I don't know. I was 11 years old. Maybe I should remember it. I remember some things about it. Some of the pictures. My mom made an outfit for me, red, white, and blue, patriotic. Kind of from back in that day. That style with the coat and the I think short pants. The best ever. They kind of come down past my knees and long socks and this and that. But I just remember that, say through the pictures, and I was trying to find those pictures the other day. And I couldn't find them. I know I've got them somewhere, but we had some kind of a play at, I don't know, church and or school. I can't remember. I know I saw some pictures of our pastor and the worship leader, and they were dressed up like that too. So I don't know if it was just a school function or church function too, or what. Anyway, so I remember that. I remember the bicentennial quarters, and I think the $50 were bicentennial too, if I remember correct. I remember getting a gun digest with had all the latest guns in it, and it was a bicentennial issue. And my mom, I think, gave it away to somebody, to a neighbor, and so I wound up finding another one later, so I have that. But I don't remember much about it, But what I think what hit me was that 50 years have went by. 50 years of I'm 61, or I'll be 61 this year. But 50 years have went by, and it's like, where did it go, and what have I accomplished? What I mean? And I know I've accomplished some things. Obviously, we all have accomplished something. But I think, it's been a little bit of a tough week as far as looking back and some of the things I wished that I would have accomplished, things I wanted to succeed at, things I wanted to get done in life, to see happening with my life, my career, didn't happen. And now I'm like, I'm not sure it's going to now, but so it's been a little bit depressing. And I was looking for those pictures from 76. My son was in our local parade, and he dressed up. He was with the company he works for, and his manager bought him an outfit, so he was dressed up as Alexander Hamilton, and he just looked really cool. And so I was like, hey, I was dressed up, back in the day. I'll try to find those pictures. So I was looking through the pictures, and like I said, I never did find them, but I found a lot of other pictures. So I took a trip down memory lane, which can be good, but it can be a little bit disheartening at times too, because not that I want to go back to some of those times, back to high. I don't want to go back to high school and even college or things like that. But as to say, just seeing yourself as a young person and seeing where you once were, what you once looked like, and the dreams and the aspirations you had at that time that because I remember those things. I remember those. I don't remember what I was doing at 11 years old, but I remember what I wanted to do in the future. And I always wanted to be in music. I wanted to be a country music singer. And then later on, I was like, well, I'm okay just I'd be a songwriter. And I moved to Nashville and tried to do those things. Just didn't work out like I hoped, like I planned. And then I met the love of my life, got married. She passed away. Again, didn't turn out like I planned. And then last year, of course, I had a car wreck. I've talked about surgery. I got let go from my job. And so here I am at, almost 61, trying to, looking back at where I once was, knowing, I can't go back there. What's next? 50 years have gone. Probably don't have 50 years ahead of me, unfortunately. Not to be a downer here, but just probably don't have that. So now it's like, what do we do? Living alone, and I'm a widower, jobless at the moment. And I'm doing okay financially. I'm not like starving, so it's not like that. But it's just not where I plan to be. And I'm an introvert, so I'm a little bit. I love people and I like to be around people, but I do get my, I can get my fill kind of quick. We went to the parade, as I said, 4th of July, and it was, it was a little bit overwhelming at times with all the people and things like that. And it was hot out, but even the heat didn't bother me. It was more the people crowding around, and there was some people heckling some of the parade goer. That was kind of ridiculous. But so sometimes people get, can kind of get to me a little bit, and not if they're nice. It's not just people in general. What I'm saying, when people are being, hard to deal with and stuff like that, it's a little bit much. But looking back at my life, and I'm sure you've done this too, is looking back and seeing where you were at one time and where you plan to be by now. And I don't know how much I planned, back then. I don't know how far out in my future I planned, but I don't feel like I'm where I would have wanted to be, and I don't, I don't have it horrible by no means. I have 2 wonderful kids. It's not like life is just the worst ever. But I wake up days just wondering what my purpose is. What's it for? What am I doing? I don't go out much. I was home 8 days here a while back. I was home 5 days last week. And I don't know how long I'll be home this week, that I don't go out. But I just don't care to. I don't even go outside. And I know that sounds bad. Probably not healthy. But I'm trying to get a grip on my life, I guess, at my age, living alone and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. I've tried to date. I haven't dated, but I've tried to. I've had people I liked and have tried to get something going, and it didn't work out. Tried to make some friends, and again, that didn't really work out either. And so kind of in an odd place, and I don't want to be a downer by no means, because I want to be positive. I know you have to be positive about things to try to, otherwise you can really get in a mess. And I've had a few nights, sleepless nights here in the last week, where I woke up in the middle of the night and all I could think about is what I didn't do, what I wished I'd have done, what I did do, what I didn't say, what I wished all this stuff. And playing that what if game that you can never win, and you can't rewind, you can't change things that's already done. All you've got is right now. Right now. You don't even have tomorrow. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. So hopefully we got tomorrow. Okay, I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm planning on we have tomorrow, but the main thing is we have right now. And I can change right now. I can be the person I want to be right now. So if you're struggling right now with, who you are and your purpose in life and what you want to be, where you want to be, maybe not where you wanted to be, looking back, if you've been around 50 years or more, and looking ahead, looking back, or at those times, thinking about how you felt back then, looking to your future, where you thought you would be now, maybe you're not where you thought you would be or wanted to be, and that's okay, because it's sometimes life takes us on even better roads than we planned on. But when they don't, that's when you get caught up in the, oh my gosh, what did I do this? Why did I make this decision? I should have turned left. I went right. Whatever. I shouldn't have taken that job. I should have taken this job. I should have dated that girl, not this girl. Whatever. I should have been friends with this person and not that person. And you can just play that game all day long and never win it. So all you've got is right now. Okay, right now. So wherever you're at today and whatever you're dealing with, especially if you're where I'm at as far as living alone, whether you're widowed or divorced, you're by yourself, and whether you want to date again or you don't, maybe you don't even have a lot of friends. I know with me, like I said, I don't really have too many friends. I mean, I can count my friends on one hand and have some fingers left, and that's the truth. As far as really people that I consider, a friend that we can do stuff and hang out with, and I don't mean you need a whole group of friends, but even the friends I can name, we don't hang out, because they're married and they're busy. We don't hang out. So, whatever it is that you've, like I say, wanted to do, and wherever you want to be, I just encourage you today, and I'm encouraging myself too. I used to be a pastor, and so when I would preach, I would always be like, I'm preaching to myself today. I'm just letting y'all eavesdrop, okay? I don't preach anymore. Matter of fact, haven't been to church in months. I just kind of got out of that too. I'll talk about that in another video. But I'm trying to encourage myself as well to find whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Why am I here on this earth? What have I done? What can I do? How can I help others? Because I truly want to help other people. I mean, it's easy to help yourself and do your own thing, but I think the thing that really gives us the most satisfaction in life is helping someone else. And if you're dealing with grief, and if you can help somebody else, that helps your grief. That helps your suffering. I know we don't think of it that way a lot of times because we're like, I want somebody to help me, But when we reach out and can help somebody else, and whether it's volunteering or something like that, my son and my daughter both have volunteered at places, and my son's volunteering at a place now, helping out, and they're very good with that. I haven't done as much of that probably as I should in my life. They're way better at it than me. And again, I think it's just that introvert in me. Once I get in it, I'd be okay, but it's just that getting started. And so, anyway, keep me in your thoughts, in your prayers, and I will, you as well. But just direction, I think, is what I need. What to do. And I've had this channel, and some days I feel great about the channel, and other days I'm like, I'm wasting my time. So it's sometimes it's hard to know. Some people, it feels like they find their niche early on. They know what they want. They go to college for it, or they get a job doing it. And same way with dating. Some people date in college, date in high school, meet in high school, and they get married. I've known people that met in grade school, got married, had kids. They're still together, years later, and they've had their life figured out from the beginning, and that's great. But I've just not been that person, unfortunately. So I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up. Here at 60, almost 1 years old. So anyway, I appreciate y'all listening to me ramble a little bit here, but you can let me know how you feel about the last 50 years already being gone, and maybe what your goals are, and maybe I can hopefully be encouraged by that, and maybe this will encourage you too, as far as helping you kind of think about things, and knowing we all have a purpose. I know that. I think everybody has a purpose. I think people on death row have a purpose. They might not have taken the right choice, made the right choices, taken the right path, but none of us have all the time. Some of us just take worse paths than others, but we've all made wrong decisions, and it's just getting back on the right track. And we have that opportunity. If we're not in prison, and we're not, we can get on the right path. We can still, and they can too. But some people can't. They'll never get out. So we may feel like a prisoner in our own mind, along with our thoughts, as I am each and every day, thinking about the past and my future, and the present and everything else, and wondering what's next. But we can still, we're still alive. We're still, our heart's still beating. We're still breathing, and we can still be a blessing to others, and do something great in this world, and make a big difference. To even if we just affect one person, if that's all we do is affect one person and help that person, not affect them in a bad way, but help some. But one person is all we need to do. One person. If we can help one person a week, one person a month, doing something nice for somebody, doing something to help somebody, to encourage somebody, sending somebody a text, and just saying, hey, I hope you have a great day. You'd be surprised how much that would help people and encourage them. Again, volunteering somewhere, doing something like that, reaching out to people going to nursing homes. My wife and the kids used to do that. We would sing, and I would speak at some of the nursing homes around here, and we would have just a small little crowd, but they really seemed to enjoy it, and it was hopefully uplifting to them, and it was a blessing to us too. So anyway, I hope you're having a great night, and like I say, let me know in the comments, if you remember 1976, and if how you're feeling about the last 50 years. I know, like I say, we can't get those back, but hopefully you're encouraged about right now, the here and now, and what's coming up tomorrow and the next day and the next week and all that stuff. So anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I hope you have a great evening. We'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks.